Think I'm alive. Think I'm alive. Is anybody going to show up? It's been ages since I've done a live. I just felt like it. So we'll see if anybody shows up. If you're watching this video in the replay, that means somebody showed up and I got into the subject at hand. If nobody shows up, then you won't see it. So, which makes no sense, but you understand. So we'll see. I'm going to give people 5 minutes. We'll see how it goes. If there's anybody here, let me know in the comments. Send me a little comment. Just let me know if you're here. Yeah, it's been a long time. I'm not sure if I expect anybody to show. Well, I guess we got a few people showing up. It's been so long. So let me know if you hear me. And say hello in the chat. It's been a while. This is your opportunity to put questions to me if you had questions you want to ask. And that's it. I just felt like doing a live tonight. It's been a long time. Hope you guys are well. Yeah. So, what's up, everybody? What's up? Let me know in the comments. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Testing, testing, testing. Ruby, Ruby, Ruby. If you like the video, please give me a thumbs up so that the algorithm will push it out. Anyhow, yeah. So what I'm going to do tonight, I'm going to do a little Q&A with you guys, answer some questions, whatever you want to ask. And I'm also going to just talk about this whole AI development versus traditional coding development, my thoughts on that. I've been looking at it closer, more and more closely these days, and so I think I got some information that you might find useful. So, hey, Creo 8, yo, 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 can you hear me? Let me know in the comments. Say yes, you can hear me, no, you can't hear me. Let me know. So as soon as I get a yes that you can hear me, I'm going to just jump into the subject at hand, and then we'll do a little Q&A. Yeah. So it's, yeah. Anyway, so I'm just waiting for somebody to tell me whether or not they can hear me. Let me know if you can hear me. Testing, testing, testing. Ruby, 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 Ruby. How are ya? So if you've never seen my streams before, I used to do these all the time. All the time. Used to get pretty big crowds, up to 300 watching live. It's been a while. I've just been really busy with other things. So, you know, what can you do? What can you do? So, yeah, if somebody will let me know if you can hear me or not in the comments. Just say, yes, we can hear you in the comments, and that way I know you hear me. Ah, good. Okay, cool. Everything's cool. Hey, Andrew, how are you? Thanks for joining. So if you're joining the stream, the old tradition is say Andrew B. from wherever you happen to be in the world, I don't know, New York City or Bangladesh, or Tokyo, Japan, or Montreal, Quebec. Let me know. Let me know. All right, so let me first deal with the 800-pound gorilla in the room is what's going to happen to software development with the onset of AI development. I'm actually pretty bullish of development in general. I just think this is one of these big changes that we see every now and then. I'm going to put out a video, I think tomorrow or next day. Hey, Andrew from England, how are you? Welcome to the stream. I assume we're going to get a lot of people. Well, you're actually up pretty late, dude. That's pretty late in England. What is it? You're up really early, I guess. Anyway, let me turn down the music here. So what's going on? Yeah, so AI development. And just put out an article where IBM, due to AI, had fired 8,000 employees. So now they've had to rehire more than 8,000 because of AI. And it's what I've been thinking, what will happen more and more and more as AI development matures, as it gets woven into the fabric of businesses. You're going to see more and more companies having to hire a bunch of more people, a bunch of more developers to basically implement agent-based development. that's the key to it all. So yeah, development is changing. We see it every once in a while. There's generational shifts. I saw it with the web from thick client. Now we're going AI development. I've been looking at a lot of AI now because I've been approached to maybe become a co-founder of an AI-based business. We'll have to see. I'm not sure if I'm going to do it or not, because when you get into that, oof, anyway. But all that said and done, there's still going to be plenty of work with traditional development for, I would imagine, for several years, especially in the SMB space, which is a small, medium-sized business space. But you just need to integrate AI in what you do. So what does Jay Elliott have to say? AI has been helping me build a Laravel site at an incredible speed, for me anyway. There you go. That's why you should use it. As I mentioned in a recent video, I was speaking to somebody in Southeast Asia who has a startup, and they were able to develop a mobile application with the help of AI. Instead of taking over a year to develop it, they got it done, I think it was 2 or 3 months, I forget now. So super quick. So to me, that tells me that smaller companies, without big funding, will be able to get to market much more quickly. Now, again, some people may think, oh my God, it's less jobs, less jobs. No, it's not less jobs. There's going to be this transition, and then there's going to be a lot more jobs. Because another thing that AI is doing, besides speeding up traditional development, it's actually creating new opportunities. So for example, the startup that I may jump in as a co-founder, I haven't decided yet, it's AI-based, and its business model is purely because of AI. Like, the business would not exist unless there was the AI space. So you're going to see a lot of business opportunities like that, where because of AI, there's going to be a lot more developer jobs. It's just to deal with that whole thing. So I hope that makes sense. That's the gist of it in the first 7 minutes of this video. So if I were getting into it for the first time, you learn your fundamentals. I say to learn the web stack so you understand HTML, CSS, JavaScript. I would learn a little Python, maybe a smidgen of PHP, get into database development, just the basics, and then start building things. And as you do this, start learning about the AI. You have to think about the different AI, whether it be ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, Grok. You got to think of them as like programming languages. They each have their capabilities, their pros and cons. They do a lot of similar things at similar rates of production. But you want to become an expert in that whole genre. So what we got here? I Make Stew says, I don't really care about getting jobs. I'm 26 and can't get a girlfriend. You can't get a girlfriend. Okay. So the trick to getting the girlfriend is to improve oneself. So forget about the girlfriend. Get yourself in great shape. Work on your work on being as best a communicator as you can be. Much better than me. Get in shape. Dress well, nice shoes. Women pay attention to shoes, everything. Make sure and just work on your career, build your career, and then the girls will come to you. How do you meet women? You put yourself in environments where you can shine. So I don't know, at the gym, certain clubs or something where you could stand out as somebody interesting. So I always used to say, you get what you give. If you're out of shape, depressed, you don't dress well, you're going to have a hard time meeting women, because that's what you're going to get. You're going to get the mirror of that with women. So, and unfortunately, though, with the online dating apps, a lot of women, we know the story, right? They put up a profile and they get 10,000 hits. So I think you got to get off of the dating apps and start doing things in person. So, for example, I'm at a gym. I meet women there. They get to know me. I get to know them. They see I train. We share similar lifestyles. If you will, we're at the gym. Blah blah blah. It helps. I look at AI helping with development as being similar to seeking answers on Stack Overflow, except it's all in context and steroids. Yeah, that works. That works too. very senior software engineer, just started playing with AI, using it to rewrite existing apps that have all the requirements for going quite fast. There you go. That's the whole point. You see, I was watching an interview with the CEO of Microsoft last week, and one thing he pointed out, which was quite true, in the world today, we have tons of tech debt, like a ton of code out there that needs to be worked and reworked and needs to be updated. So there's huge amounts. And for years and years, all you heard about was they can't hire enough developers. They can't hire enough developers. So there's a bit of a lag now, but they're gonna keep hiring like crazy. I think once it starts up again, they're gonna be hiring like crazy, but they're gonna be developers who know AI. You still gotta know your stacks as well. You gotta know traditional coding and development, but you gotta know AI. And what's gonna happen is that software is just gonna be produced much more quickly, and you're gonna get much better software. This is also a huge opportunity for entrepreneurial types because you will be able to tackle projects yourself with the help of AI, a bunch of agents, or maybe you and a couple of people, a couple of partners, or you could be able to handle projects that before that would have been too big for you to even approach. So that's very exciting because that opens up more opportunity for the small, nimble companies which can run circles around big organizations that have lots of bureaucracy and red tape to contend with. So I think it's very good. Do you still use Spring Boot? No, I haven't used Java in a while, simply because our app, first of all, is PHP-based, PHP Laravel. It's very stable. We just did a couple of fixes recently, but it's a very stable piece of software, and I don't develop anymore in Java. Only time I would touch Java is because there are very specific requirements for it, and that's usually because of the infrastructure that's already in place at a particular organization that may want to implement that Java. Anyway, I used to say, and I still say, Java is a very verbose language. Even Spring Boot is very light and nimble relative to previous iterations. I did a lot of Java back in the day, but compared to like light frameworks like Django or Laravel in the PHP and the Python worlds, respectively, or Express, it's very heavy. That being said, with agent development, AI-based development, that might become a moot point because the AI will just take care of all that boilerplate code, all that verbosity that you would have to deal with manually. So yeah, if you like it, what I would do if I were you, I would, if you like using Spring Boot, my suggestion is see how you can develop Spring Boot-based applications using AI agents, and see how quickly you are. Because I think that the downside to Java and Spring Boot is verbose, much more plumbing to do versus lighter frameworks, but you have all the advantages of Java and the JVM. But if you have now AI and agents that are doing all that boilerplate code for you and all that boilerplate configuration, then the difference in setup speed between Boot and, let's say, Python Django or PHP Laravel might be, or Express JS might be, what's the word? A moot point. So that's actually, I never thought about that before. That's a good point. That's a good point. So yeah, if you're a Spring Boot aficionado, I strongly recommend you see if AI can assist you in that, taking away one of Spring Boot's biggest downsides is the fact that it's quite verbose. Do you think it's still worth learning the basics of programming in languages like C? I'm asking from a more nerdy perspective. Well, if you want to be an effective developer, you still have to understand the basics of programming, the fundamentals as I characterize them. Even if you're going to use agents, AI, when I say agents, I'm just talking about AI. Even if you're going to use AI to write code, which I think you should be doing, you still need to understand what you're doing. You still need to understand the environment. So if you want to write C, don't ask yourself, don't say, I want to write C. Say, what do you want to write C for? Like, do you want to write device drivers? What do you want to do C for? What's the point of it? Yeah, so if I was talking about the web stack, for example, So you got that guy who said he's using AI to help him write Laravel-based apps super quickly. He still has to understand what he's doing with Laravel. He still has to understand the basics of web stack and the request response cycle to get things done. But do it with the help of AI, you know. Morris Taylor, I'm here. Let the fun begin. Hey, how you doing, man? Cheers. Yeah, if you haven't already, let me know, guys, where you're from. So say Jay Elliott from wherever you happen to be, and Jolly Prez from wherever you happen to be in the world. I'm always curious, and it's kind of fun to know from where people are calling or are watching, rather. So, yeah. Anyway, so that's my 2 cents about the AI, guys. I don't see it as a doom of development. I just see it as the new abstraction layer. And you should watch the interviews with the head of Microsoft. He talks about it. He talks about how he sees it. And he sees like the future of the top-notch devs that they'll hire and employees. They'll have a series of agents they come with. Agents are basically highly optimized AI, you know. Just outside of Detroit, Michigan. Ah, very cool, man. Yeah. Ah, Brazil. Very good. So international audience. I'm assuming I'm going to get a lot more West Coast people than I would, say, East Coast and European or Asian. It's getting kind of late. I don't know. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Do you have any questions? Let me know what you think. Do you see as AI as a threat to your job, or do you see it as a good thing? You know, or you're kind of ambivalent, or you haven't thought about it yet. Let me know. He works in healthcare, data science. So are you guys implementing AI in that realm as of yet? Atlanta. With your experience, do you not have any crazy ideas in your head that you may want to code, or is the passion gone? I actually have several ideas that I'm looking at and considering. That startup I mentioned, I had another meeting today with one of the potential co-founders, a good friend of mine, and actually a guy who built up a startup that had an evaluation of $1.5 billion, so very, very capable guy. So we were talking today, and we had 2 ideas for startups and software to offer to market, AI related, because that's where the buzz is. But yeah, AI is like other technology in history. It benefits who knows to use it, and a threat to those who can't adapt. Yeah, pretty much. Just adapt to it. John Emmanuel Gapuz is correct. I assume you're from South America. Yeah, you have to adapt to it. Get with it. Back in the 90s, when I first started developing, I started writing commercial code in 94. The web came in, and there's a lot of people who were doing still thick client traditional development. Microsoft, Windows stuff, DCOM, VB6, and so on. And they still had jobs for years, but they didn't, they felt web was a threat. And eventually a lot of those thick client jobs disappeared, but for every one of those jobs that disappeared, we had another 20 web-related development jobs. I think we're going to say the same. I think we are going to see the same thing with the AI development space. Trey Brown, hey man, how are you? I recognize. Steph, way too long since your last live. Stay safe. You are the best. I appreciate that. Well, thanks for joining. I don't know. I don't want to promise any more lives from the Philippines. Very good. We'll see. It depends how busy I am, really. Yeah. Arkansas or Arkansas, I think it is. Yeah. Anyhow. So there you go. How are we? 55 people? That's not bad. Give me some thumbs up if you don't mind, guys, if you enjoy this stream. I used AI for the first time when stuck on a Python program and it wrote the whole program. Now I'm a believer. There you go. you still got to know what you're doing, right? Still got to know what you're doing. One of the consternations, I think, that a lot of people getting into development or who are developers, especially if you're beginner or intermediate level, is you're worried that you don't understand certain things. You're like, I don't understand this. When you get into the commercial world and you just want to get the damn product out the door, you start not worrying about that so much. So there are certain libraries that I would leverage, and I didn't understand exactly how they implemented those libraries, all the details. I didn't know the details. I didn't care about the details. It didn't matter. You know, it would be a challenge for me to write those libraries myself from scratch. Eventually I could have, but it would be a waste of my time and your time, and to try to figure these things out if they just work. So, yeah. So this dude had trouble with the Python program, but the AI was able to take care of it. That's cool. You got the job done. Move on. Next. That's your job, man. Is AI making us programmers dumber? No, it's just changing where you're going to focus. You have to become an agent expert. That's the key. You know, there are programmers out there who are masters at pointers. C++ programmers, master at pointers. This is memory management stuff. I don't know anything about pointers. I know what they are. I know the basics of it, but my skill with pointers is like terrible. Why? Who cares? It's not important. So yeah, there's going to be a shift in terms of the type of skills you're going to need, and it's going to be agent-based now. So I would just say, just go there. Don't worry about it. Mr. Marquez says, I use ChatGPT to create some codes, functions in R to automate the math I need to do. There you go. Hey, you Lou, I would rather figure out things myself. Well, you have to find a balance there, Yulu. You have to find a balance because you have to keep in mind, what's the goal? Is the goal to learn stuff, or is the goal to get the job done? Trust me, there's plenty of things you're going to have to learn. So don't force yourself to learn things unless you have to, because you have all kinds of other things to learn. Why do I say that? Because that's just a fact of the matter. But B, learning new things is very stressful on the brain. It takes a lot of compute cycles, if you will. So just concentrate, I would suggest, getting the stuff done. And don't worry, the work will force you to learn new things along the way. So don't learn things unless you have to. It's called being efficient in that regard. I haven't used a lot of different AI for dev help, but Grok 3 has been killing it for me. Yeah, I heard Grok is very good. All these AI, like I can't recommend a particular one, would be Grok or Claude or Gemini or whatever, ChatGPT, of course. I can't recommend it because they're changing all the time. DeepSeek, they're getting, you know, they're like, oh, one day GPT's better, next day Grok's better, next day... They're all really good now. So just choose whatever works for you, you know? I think what's going to make the difference is how the different AI providers, how they package them, how easy and accessible they make them. The tool sets around the AIs are going to be a big deal in terms of whether you use one or the other. That's how I look at it. Are we just trying to be too optimistic out of desperation? I don't believe so. I've seen this before. I've seen new technology come in, replace old, so I'm not too concerned personally. When people say AI is just another technology, do they really believe that because it seems drastically different? Well, no, AI is freaking cool, and it's the biggest leap I have seen. But so was the web at the time. The web was groundbreaking. Smartphones and iOS development was groundbreaking. It was huge. All of a sudden, all these people were moving from the desktops, moving into the phone. So all this development for desktop apps moved to phone development. You see the pattern? See the pattern? So, you know, I'm seeing the same type of thing. So it's not a cope thing for me. I'll tell you, if I think that that we have to, well, I'm telling you now, get into agent development. There's a whole bunch of development, types of development rather, that I did in the past no longer exist. Like you're gonna chuckle. I used to write I used to build little apps that ran on CD-ROMs and DVDs. Kid you not, this is pre-internet, or when the internet wasn't very fast. So I developed applications for big pharma that were delivered to people on DVDs. They would, print DVDs and they send them out in the mail. And so that type of development, DVD development, DVD app development, CD-ROM app development, those are no longer, it's done. Does not exist anymore. Even on the web in 2011, Steve Jobs effectively killed Flash development. Flash was very big. It was a very big part of web development. And Steve Jobs killed it. How's the sound quality, by the way? Can you hear me? How's the mic? You like the mic? Sound good? All right. This is one of my many mics I have. I kind of like this one. Yulu, I like delivering solutions. Programming is just how to do it. Yeah, that's exactly it. They're just tools. They're just tools. Do you think Laravel is superior to Express in the field of freelancing? That's a good question. I prefer Laravel. Generally speaking, when it comes to building an MVP, building a web app very quickly, I find Laravel to be the most performant right now. But again, with AI, that might change the game. But you might find projects where Express makes better sense. Depends on the nature of the particular job that you're doing, Would traditional be around? I think it's going to be around for a little while, maybe 5 years, maybe longer. It could be around for many years, in fact. If I had to guess, I would say that you're going to see traditional development for at least another 10 years. Could be wrong. Could be wrong. The reason I say that is because there's so much legacy code out there that people don't want to just trash it all. But I see AI being used to update legacy code, and I see AI implementations within the context of legacy code. But traditional coding will be around for a while, I would guess. I'm getting a data science degree at age 57. Whoa, congrats, cool, man. And they gave up trying to stop people from using AI. Yeah, it's stupid. Let them use AI because that's the tools. Sound is good. All right, thanks, man. Hi, brother. Been seeing your videos. Can you mention the next stage of technology that I should learn after front-end and back-end technologies? Yeah, learn agent-based, agentic, agent-based AI development. Agentic, 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 agentic AI agent development. That's where I would go. Go watch the latest interview with the CEO of Microsoft. He did a few interviews where he talks about where they're going, how they see things. And yeah, look, that's where, Dion, that would be my recommendation. In fact, I'm looking at startup options based on their applications and their services, but it's all heavily weighted and based on AI. And if I do decide to pursue this, people are going to have to be hired, but for that type of stuff. All right. If you can give me some thumbs, I would appreciate it. A thumbs up helps the algorithm, as you know. How are we doing for time here? Okay, good. Yeah. What else? Any other questions, guys? Any other questions? Flutter is a pain to program. Maybe AI can help with it. Yeah, definitely. I would set up let's say you have to do some Flutter work, right? And you got to learn Flutter. So I would do like the hello world of Flutter and then get AI jumping in there to help you with that, to give you overviews, to help you with tips, and get AI to start writing components, start putting it together. You're going to become, if you think of like an orchestra, instead of you, what's the word I'm looking for? Instead of you playing each of the instruments, which is kind of like traditional coding, become the conductor, where you direct the AIs to do certain things, if that makes any sense. So that's my recommendation. Become that conductor, boom, 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 boom. So yeah, I would definitely do that. Flutter is a pain. I looked at it a while back when it first came out. I thought it would be pretty cool, but yeah. Do you still like WordPress since the founder went crazy? Hey, Morris, how are you? It's not a question of liking the technology or not, or disliking it. It's a question of whether or not there's a demand for it. It's just that there's a huge demand for it. That's all I suggest. For me, guys, you got to understand all these tools. I look at them as just, let me zoom in a bit. I just look at them all as tools. They're just tools for me to build things. I don't, some things are more fun to work with than others, but they're like, carpenters have hammers and nails and saws and, I don't know, planes and stuff. But yeah, that's how I look at it. Where do you think mobile dev? You mean dev? I think I would just do mobile, but just implement AI, that's it. My perceptions of, if you're doing, that's interesting. One thing I've been saying for years, that's a good question, mobile dev. So here's me just thinking. One of the things I used to say is that mobile dev is largely going to cross-platform solutions like a Flutter or something, or React Native. Why? Because people don't want to have to maintain two code bases. You don't want to have to do the whole thing in Android. You don't have to do the whole thing in iOS, even though native implementations are always going to be faster than cross-platform. Of course, for many apps, because the phones are so powerful today, because the apps don't really, you don't need all that power necessarily that you get with native. But if the AI, and I think it's probably there, can quickly generate native apps, then there might be people moving away from cross-platform solutions to just having the AI generate them, So if you develop, let's say, an app in iOS with the help of AI, and you make it all work fine, then you can just tell the AI to copy it into Android. And perhaps with some tweaks here and there, you're going to get it going. So this way, because of AI's super efficiencies, instead of having to maintaining the two code bases will be trivial all of a sudden. So maybe cross-platform solutions might lose favor in favor of native apps written for mobile, but written largely by AI, managed by people, managed by the agents. I hope that makes sense. Morris, I'm good. I'm still in therapy since I saw your leg 4 years ago. You saw my leg? I forget about the leg. What do you mean my leg? You have to remind me, man. AI is good for starting a project, still get some issue if the project is ongoing. Like make new features easier to upgrade existing features. Yeah, when you're building and architecting an app where AI is going to be writing a lot of the code, I would be very modular in my approach. So I'd really segment your app into very discrete subsections or components, if you will, so that you can point the AI to do this and point the AI to do that and point an AI. So this way, because if you have a big mess of code, it could work, but it could be a real hassle to update. But if you have components, you have more components. You have the AI write this component, have the AI write this component. To swap out a component, to expand upon it, is a lot cleaner and simpler. And I think it's probably much more manageable. The allure of Flutter is write once, sell the app everywhere. Not sure if it delivers yet. I couldn't say. I haven't looked at it for a while, so I don't know how it's going now. And we're already 68 people. I'm surprised. It's been years since I've done a live. Yeah, so that's my take on that. You swung your leg in the camera frame while showing your new app a few years ago. I said if I saw your leg in, I would need therapy, which you had to laugh at. Oh, it sounds like something I would do. I used to do a lot of martial arts. I did martial arts for decades, in fact. Before I became a nerd, I was going to become a professional fighter. Do you think native PHP for mobile applications can make it big like React Native? Native PHP for mobile? No, I don't think so. I think the key, dude, is to get into using agents in AI to write your applications. That's where I think you should go. My boss, don't a programming background. He's developed a CRM with it. He only has ideas using Cursor. He has developed a lot of features. Ah, there you go. That's where it's going, my friends. That's where it's going. My new apartment. Also, this is, you're talking about before I moved here? I bought this place 5 years ago. I've been here 5 years already. So you're talking about before 5 years ago? I've learned to feed my AI code so it can give me answers that are in the appropriate context, and it's been working well. So that's it. You have to learn to use the AI, just like you learn to use an IDE, just like you learn to use a library, just like you learn to use a framework. You got to learn to use it, understand how to use it effectively. And then you will be a better developer, that's for sure. How we're doing? Let's make sure everything's cool. All right, we're good. And is MERN stack good option in 2025? We use AI. If it works for you, it works. They're all good. The only, which is interesting. AI is going to make a lot of things better than they would have been otherwise. Like I was talking about Spring Boot early on. Do you think Angular is good enough for mobile, or is it just for desktop browsers? I know I can't say. I would have to do some research on that and see. I don't know. I don't have an answer for that. What do you think about MCP? I think it's a huge thing. Yeah, MCP is Model Context Protocol. I think that's it. Model Context Protocol. You can think of MCP. This is basically just a standard of communication so an agent can talk to a service. So for example, Docker is big into MCP. I just did a video for Docker sponsorship. PayPal is big into MCP. They got an MCP layer as well. So yeah, MCP is big. I would learn MCP. Uncle, I am in confusion between cloud computing and full stack. Mr. Samir Kulkarni, I would just spend about 2 weeks on full stack, play around with it, try it out, see if you like it, look at the job market, and then look at cloud computing. Again, spend 2 weeks, play around with it, try it out. And that will help you make that decision. Here's the great thing about it. If you're doing cloud computing, it's good to know a little bit about full stack. If you know full stack, it's good to know a little bit about cloud computing. So guess what? You're not wasting your time by learning a little bit of each. It's all good. AI video is going to let regular people make real movies from home. Yeah, I saw that. That's very cool stuff. That's very cool stuff. Now, we saw demos. I have yet to see how practical it is, but yeah, 100%. I think the movie studios are probably biting their nails because small players, again, let's say you have a great idea for a show or a movie or episodic thing. With the AI tools, you don't have to hire actors and you don't have to hire studios and buy airy cameras, all this kind of stuff, and you can start producing something and putting it out on social media, YouTube and whatnot, and start competing. It's just like it happened in the music industry, right? Big studios now, they're most of them, as far as I understand, most of them are closed because you can record amazing albums with your laptop and a mic, not even like this mic. This is an expensive mic. You get like a $150 mic and you can record a great music. It's not like it used to be. Actually, my brother used to be a sound engineer back in the 80s and 90s, and he worked on some big projects. And he said that, remember I was talking about 5 years ago, he said now, and he worked at big professional studios, said now with his iPad and a consumer mic, he could produce much higher quality audio than he could in the professional studios back in the 90s. So that's what we're going to see with video as well. Are there niche programming that AI might not be creative enough or good at? I'm getting into MIDI, and there is a lot of imagination involved. I doubt AI could be good at it. Just think of AI as a power tool. It will allow you to iterate through different options much more quickly than you could. You know, It's funny. I've been watching videos of famous artists. You know, I'm of the age. I like, you know, Jimi Hendrix and Zeppelin and Pink Floyd and all those bands and many, many more. And one of the things about them, they were always, they talk about it now, the ones who are still alive, they talk about they were always innovating. That was the thing. They were looking for the new sound, looking for the new instruments, the new way to record. They were the guys who were looking, like back in the 1980s, you had this new wave movement to music. And all those artists, they didn't look back. They were looking at using computer sounds, right, to generate their music. You know, and you had huge bands like Gary Newman. I don't know who else. There's a whole bunch of other ones. You know, Depeche Mode, those type of guys. Good music, you know, but with new technology, new sounds. So you have to think of it that way when you're looking at all this programming stuff. You have to look at the new technology if you want to get ahead. Hey, Trey, how do you break down projects where they are not so overwhelming when your motivation wears off so you can complete the project? Well, it depends on the type of projects, but you got to, first thing you do is you modularize them as much as possible. So I'll give you a simple example, a website, a web app. You know, it's nothing I invented. It's something called MVC, Model View Controller. So I would start off planning all the views. I always start off with the views, what you see, the screens. And then from the screens, that would tell me what I needed to track in my database. And so I design my database. And then I would have my business logic. There would be certain functionality that I needed to provide for the app to work. So, for example, when I built my dating app, you know, today it's no big deal, but I had to develop a messaging system. So I did my screens, did my database, and I had to develop my components that handle just the messaging. I had to develop my components to handle just the authentication and the rules in that regard. Nowadays, with a framework like a Laravel or an Express or something, or Boot, Spring Boot, you know, they have built-in authentication, you know, but just start that way, chip away. When you start building a project, especially if a project of any decent size, you won't have all the answers to everything, and you drive yourself crazy trying to figure out. You drive yourself crazy trying to figure out all the nuances of. Just hold on a second. Well, what was I forget what I was talking about now. Too bad. I forgot what I was talking about. Breaking down the projects. Yeah, when you have a big project and if you try to figure out every single component without having built anything, it's gonna be hard. So you just got to build your basic skeleton and just start filling in the blanks. And what you'll see once you fill in this, once you figure out how you're going to do the authentication system, and then you figure out how you're going to do the internal messaging system here. And you figure out the database here, and you figure out this screen here and that screen there. All of a sudden, everything starts filling in and becomes much easier. So I hope that helps. I have a bunch of AI SaaS ideas for when I am done with college. Yeah, I would suggest starting to work on building them now. You know, in your spare time. I would suggest Mr. Taylor. I would suggest that you maybe devote an hour a week to starting one of these projects. You know, it's going to make you a better developer, and who knows, you may find yourself making great progress quickly, and you never know what will happen. So that's what I would suggest. What's this? Laugh Out Loud. Pete Townsend used to run his guitar through an ARP 2600. Now that's creative. I don't know. I don't know what an ARP 2600 is. I guess that's a different type of amp that, I don't know what it is. You have to tell me. But yeah, you have to do different things. Like Zeppelin did Beatles. It's constantly trying new things. I heard an interview with Paul McCartney recently. He was talking about that. Eddie Van Halen, the way he would play his guitar, he came up with a whole new style, you know. All right, guys. Oh, we've been on. It's already 40 minutes. How's my camera doing? I got a new camera, but it's on battery, so I'm kind of limited. Any last questions before I let you go? And we're 80 people now. Please give me a thumbs if you like me doing lives. Let me know. Any last questions? And I will endeavor to answer. What I'm looking for to what I'm looking forward to with AI is having it be my caregiver when I'm old and senile. I'm counting on that personally. Hopefully I can program it to speak and fight for me when I no longer can. That I can almost guarantee you. And I think with AI and that thing that Elon Musk is doing was the Neuralink thing. I think senility and just eating healthy food will be a thing of the past. You involved in Ukraine-Russian conflict? No, I'm in Canada. No. That is not a conflict I would not want to be along with. It's an analog synthesizer. Wow, so he plugged his guitar through a synthesizer. There you go. That's cool. That Van Halen tapping technique changed guitar playing forever. Exactly. Yeah. I'm personally optimistic about generative AI. OpenAI lost $5 billion in 2024. Nobody outside of NVIDIA is making any money off this new technology yet. Lives are great. I appreciate it. Thank you. I agree with you that AI will speed up all forms of development moving forward, whether it's games, web development, or whatever. What I don't know is whether that will generate more or less work. I think in the end, we're going to have more work because of the new use cases that are going to be developed. And there's going to be a lot of tasks that people have been afraid to or didn't have time to address in terms of old code bases and modernizing stuff. There's going to be plenty of work. I have no doubt about that. It's just, again, don't think about React or Angular and data structures and algorithms. Any beginner's foundational courses will give you enough data structures so you're ready to go. AI is going to write those algorithms. Again, as I've been saying for years, for 99.9% of developers, algorithms are the least important thing. Speed of applications, all in the database for most people. Anyway, and now you got the AI doing this stuff. And you got libraries that do this stuff. So yeah, concentrate, again, learn your foundations as I described, then start building things and get into AI. Become a master of AIs. Become a masters of AI, That's what it is. So let's say you have a project where you need to do a little React, then learn React. Do the hello world React, learn the basic structure of a React. It will take you an hour to learn it if you know your fundamentals, and with the help of AI. And then you have the AI start doing everything. Right? So there you go. I appreciate that. Thanks, guys. Great to see you live. I need Drupal guidance to get jobs, projects. Drupal guidance. Well, you got some Drupal jobs. One of the guys from my mentoring program, link below, he's like a senior dev for a big company, and it's all based on Drupal. So they're using AI to speed up production, but everybody's working still. What? You've never seen his vids from the front lines? Laugh out loud. Are you talking about Pete Townsend? I never noticed what he plugged into. The good thing about AI is when is used in science. I'm sure. Well, I'm very optimistic. They're going to be discovering things and optimizing things. I think it's a good thing. I just think it's a good thing. There's just a transition we have to contend with right now. China AI will win because they copy all data. US has AI. AI has to respect copyright laws. Not really fair. Yeah, that's an issue. That's very complex, and that's going to have to be addressed, I think. I don't know all the details, so I don't have a hard opinion, but I would agree in principle. I fear that using AI for coding could potentially make me less effective as a critical thinker long-term. No, don't worry about that, buddy. Don't worry about that. Neon Dog, your fear is... it's like I used to tell people, don't look for code to write. Don't go look for problems to solve. Like I'm looking like, for example, so I'm thinking about either investing or becoming a co-founder of a startup, AI-based business. And there's a lot of complexity just understanding how to implement the AI in an effective way. A lot of complexity there. So there are lots of critical thinking to be had in the AI world, you know? So yeah, I wouldn't be too concerned about that. There are still Drupal jobs out there, for sure. There's lots of Drupal jobs. There's lots of WordPress jobs. There's lots of Ruby jobs, PHP. There's tons of jobs. Like this whole fear. It's like, yeah. I've used AI to help remember things I forgot, and that's made me better, faster at handwriting my code. Yeah, very good. Use it, man. If you finish writing Java Droid app, how can you convert it to iOS? I think I wouldn't be surprised, but if you write a Java Droid app, and then you get a good coding AI, you can tell it, look at this Java Android app, and please create an iOS version. And I wouldn't be surprised you could get something that is functional out of box, or at least you get a lot of it done, you know? But I don't know. I'm just speculating here. Hi, Uncle Stef. I'm a 40-year-old and live in a poor country. I tried to learn dev to make my own startup. Do you think I'm too old for dev traditional learning at 40? I feel a little bit worried. What I would do, Kevin Carey, I would learn the foundations of coding. So that means 300 hours of training. Like with my program, about 300 hours, but you don't have to use mine, whatever it is. So that means HTML5, little CS3, learn the web stack, understand server and a client, learn request response model, learn a little bit about databases, learn a little bit about CRUD. And then along the way, as you're doing this, also, what I was going to say, as you're doing this, also use AI to help you speed up the learning. But no, 40 is, from my perspective, it's very young. You know? Yeah, so get into it. You could be up to speed doing stuff within a year, you know, and then you have many years ahead of you. Is it a good idea to build our project and portfolio using AI to speed up development? Will it be acceptable? Yes, use AI. You want to go into a prospective the prospective employer, Sadiq 24. And you want to show them, I am very good at working with AI to write code. I'm good with ChatGPT. I'm good with Claude. I'm good with Gemini, whatever. You want to be good. You want to say, I'm good at coordinating agents. I understand agentic AI development. That will make you much more hireable than if you know React from scratch these days, in my opinion. Not that there are no React jobs, there are. But people are now looking for AI developers, people who know how to use AIs effectively. So yeah, go for it. I remember when you said ancestors were from Ukraine. This is true. And they are grabbing volunteers for war. Maybe don't visit Ukraine right now. Yeah, probably not a good idea. But I'm kind of old, so, you know. But yeah. Hopefully that will come to an end soon. It's been too long. But I notice AI can make mistakes or even mess up your code. This is true if you're not careful. This is true. It's very useful, don't get me wrong. Yeah, it's not perfect. It's got problems. It's going to continue evolving. That's why I say you should segment your code into smaller components and don't have AI necessarily write from everything A to Z. Have it right here, then have it right here, have it right here, so they're more manageable, and then you can stitch it together. That's how I would approach it personally. How we do for time? 22. All right, not bad. Wow, almost 50 minutes. There you go. So what do you guys think of the live? If you enjoy the live shows, please give me a thumbs. I'd appreciate it. Give me a thumbs up. And how are we doing here? Saturation. Saturate. Ooh, there we go. All right. Hey, Stef. I am from India. I want to start freelancing. Let's do it, man. Why do you say DSA not so important? Data structures and algorithms, that's what you mean, decode? Well, I've said for many years, if that's what you mean, let me know, say yes, decode. I say that because algorithms are really come into play when you're dealing with massive amounts of data. And most people don't have to work with massive amounts of data, you know? So that's number one. Data structures, any beginner's course, foundation course in any of the languages will teach you the basic data structures that you have to understand, data types. You don't have to go crazy. You know, the crazy advanced knowledge of data structures and how one's more efficient than the other, that was never a real thing except for stupid tests that companies would give. It only came into play when you were dealing at the Facebooks or the Googles or the big data processing companies. Most programming is not about that. Anyway, now with AI, that's like, you know, I wouldn't be too concerned about that. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. I agree. Keep it modular and feed it into your AI. It will keep things in context and use AI to help debug any messed up code. Perfect. That's exactly it, Mr. Elliott. So, Abhazir, anyway. Hey, Steph, I'm from India. Does freelance software development still hold value in 2025? Yes, because everything is easy with AI. Yes. Is it okay to start freelance? Yes, freelance. Listen, so a project now takes you 1 hour instead of 10 hours. You just do many more projects, you know, and charge 3 hours. Yeah, for sure. Maybe, can you share ideas, AI projects besides using programming, how to prove AI expertise? Well, just start using them, start working with them, start developing with them, start being knowledgeable about them. There's tons of projects out there. Miss Tanya Jenkins. Yes, lives are great. Well, I appreciate that. New face. I don't recognize Tanya. Tanya, were you one of the OG live watchers from the past? I don't know. More thumbs. I appreciate the thumbs, everybody. Thank you. Well, I have to say, with 95 watchers and only 40 thumbs, the thumbs to viewer ratio is it's not the best. Oliviera, I said that right. Do you think AI will make devs less skillful? No, they'll make them different. So dependent from those tools in the end will not be able to program. Let me tell you, do you know memory management if you're a JavaScript programmer? Nope. Do you know memory management and pointers if you're a C# developer, a Java developer, a PHP developer, a TypeScript developer? Nope. It's natural, old skills. Just, you know, you don't need to learn to do things that don't need to be done anymore. There's going to be a whole new set of skills, being agent managers, agent developers. So I wouldn't be too concerned. Trust me, right now, I've been doing this stuff, I hate to admit it, 30 years. There's so much I forget. I don't care to remember. I don't want to remember. There's too much out there. So don't worry about it. I know, I understand, by the way, I'm not making fun. I understand. I was like that as well. I remember when I first went into management from pure development, I knew I was going to start losing touch with the code. But I had to make a decision about what I wanted to do. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't be too concerned about that. Do you think DevOps will be in high demand? What do you think? I couldn't say. I think there's always going to be DevOps, but I think it's going to be agent managed. So I think DevOps specialists are going to have their agents or AIs that are optimized for DevOps. So you're going to come in, Franklin, as the DevOps guy with his agents, his team of agents, and you're going to be going, implementing DevOps workflows far more quickly and far more efficiently than you would otherwise. So become a DevOps expert who happens to use a ton of agents. I hope that makes sense. Hope that helps. That's what I would suggest you do. You do that, you're going to be printing money because they're going to be looking for people like that. There are always more work to do than competent people to do the work. This has always been true. I believe that is the case as well. Trey Brown says, AI makes me discouraged. I feel like I'm cheating. No, you're not cheating. Trust me, right now, if you're using JavaScript, C programmers are going, you're cheating because your JavaScript's doing all this stuff for you. If you're using a relational database management system, RDBMS, whether it be Postgre, MySQL, or whatever it is, Oracle, old school nerds like me would have said, you're cheating. I used to create my own databases in flat files, which is dumb, waste of time. So you're not cheating. You're just dealing with the next iteration. You know what I mean? Do you think artificial intelligence will replace search engines because I believe AIs are like a search engine on steroids? Yeah, I think traditional search engines are going to become marginalized. And that's a fancy word. They won't be used too much. It's already happening. I think I just got to plug something in here. Already Apple mentioned how first time ever in their history, they saw less people using Google on their platforms. There we go. All right, we got power. All right, we got power. All right, we're good. Always professional production here. What do we got here? Next one. So we did the search engine question. I'm going to answer a few more questions and I'm out. Got to go, I don't know, make a coffee. Hey, Uncle Stef, do you intend to update Studioweb regarding the shift of paradigm with AI regarding web development? Yes and no. So I'm keeping Studioweb because the foundational courses are still relevant for today. I say learn the foundations. It's a nice mix. When I produce my content, whether it's my book or my Studioweb content, I always produce it to be evergreen. So I wrote my book. It's still on sale on Amazon in 2015. You'd figure a 2015 book on coding would be antiquated. It's still 100% good today because I knew to concentrate on the key fundamentals that are universal. So yeah, my book is still relevant today. I'm not trying to sell a book. I don't make money on the book, so you can go get it for now for like $10. It's a good book if you like to read. Yeah, it's still relevant. What I'm doing though in my mentoring program, I'm pushing more into the AI, just providing guidelines. Because once you learn your fundamentals, then you can explore this stuff. You don't need somebody to teach you the AI. The AI will teach you. I'm just going to help you understand how to navigate that field. That's what I'm doing. So it's not so much in Studioweb, because Studioweb is more about interactive training. I'm adding that. I already added that component for a while now in the mentoring program. Good question, though. Good question. Can you mention some of the projects that would stand out comparing traditional applications? I would, low-hanging fruit, implement a web app that integrates chatbot functionality to evaluate people's inputs into an app or something. So for example, in my mentoring group, I have a math teacher who developed a tutoring app, and he integrated AI, ChatGPT, to evaluate student responses and to give responses. So that's a simple example. Just doing that is good. Guilty. I corrected that now. Watching from the shadows. I appreciate the like. It's good. Likes are the lifeblood of a YouTuber, as you know. Tanya says, it's my first time watching live. I've been watching your videos. So helpful. Thank you so much for the knowledge you share with us. How important is to have a BS for freelancing? Zero importance. If you want to freelance or start a business, your degree has absolutely zero value, 100% in that. So I wouldn't be too concerned. In fact, in terms of jobs, I saw a report recently that was saying, at least in North America, I don't know about Europe, a lot of employers now, I think a majority, don't care whether or not you have a degree. They're starting to be very skill-oriented. That said, in the tech sector, as a general rule, even back to the 90s, even though degrees were much more important in the 90s relative to today, even back then, a lot of companies would hire based on your demonstrable skills rather than credentials. I think the value of credentials overall tenure are becoming less and less important, especially in freelancing. Freelancing, a client will never ask you if you have a degree. Will never ask you. If you develop a SaaS product or an AI product business, they will never ask you if you have a degree. They couldn't care less. All they care about is whether or not the work that you do or the product that you provide is good. It's good. By the way, I don't have a degree in computer science. My major was psychology. So, I did okay. But how do you get clients? I know development, but I live in a village. Local market doesn't want web apps. Okay, Fiverr feels super saturated. Can I throw some light or give a role? I have plenty of videos on my YouTube channel you can find where I talk about that. You want to build your reputation, get into groups, maybe on Twitter groups or Discord servers. That sort of thing would be the route I would suggest. But I've done lots of videos on that on YouTube. Just search my YouTube channel. You find some details. You can do it, man. You can do it. Sadiq24, the live stream and YouTube videos are always thumb up. Well, I appreciate that. Thank you. What's your take on blockchain in this decade? Is it an upcoming technology? How would it align with AI? I think blockchain, I've always said it, and I've said it even during the blockchain hype cycle, I've always said it's going to be a niche technology, a highly specialized technology. I said for every blockchain job, there's probably going to be 10,000 web development jobs. And the ratio is probably held out. That mean I'm not trashing blockchain. I think it has its uses, but I think it's very, very specialized. So I don't think it'd be my number one choice in terms of getting jobs. Again, today, I highly recommend, Uncle Stef tells you, with his 3 decades of experience being a professional developer, writing code, learn your fundamentals and then jump into the AI stack as soon as possible. Become an AI developer. Not somebody who develops AI, but somebody who works with all the bots, MCP, agentic development. That's where the money's going to be. If you get out there and you become an agentic developer, the chances of you landing jobs is going to be much better. And, listen, I'm not trying to sell you an AI course. I got no AI course. I'm not going to be developing an AI course. I'm just giving you the truth here. For LLM fine-tuning or RAG, is math required? If so, what is the bare minimum? That I could not say. I'm not a RAG guy. So I'll ask my friend who actually, he worked at Meta in AI research for a couple of years. I'll ask him. He was talking about RAG. I should have asked him what the hell RAG was. So I don't know RAG. I'll figure it out. So I'll just use ChatGPT. Ask ChatGPT. How long did it take that math teacher to make the app? Well, he learned to code with me from scratch. I think he got something up within a few months, and he was learning to do it from scratch, But that's like asking, how long did it take that carpenter to build the house? Well, how big is the house, right? Is it 2 bedrooms? Is it 10 bedroom? What's up with the house? Software, it's a good app. It's a good little app. He already has a paying client. He got his first paid client about 3 weeks ago, I think it was. He was super happy. So they asked him, how much does it cost to use their app to train a kid? So he was pretty happy about that. Hey, Uncle, what math discipline is more important for dev? None. Go learn AI. Big push in the 90s to force people to get degrees to be hireable was such a farce. Well, they made deals with the universities. The universities made a lot of money, and everybody was happy, and the students got into debt. Not good. I have to admit, I have, having worked with educational institutions for over 14 years now, Studioweb, by the way, it's used by the public, but it's been used by schools for 14 years now. And I dealt with some of the biggest districts in North America, providing curriculum and classroom management software. That's Studioweb. for those of you who have used Studioweb, you only see like 5% of the application. There's a whole bunch of tools for schools and for teachers, you know. Yeah, I'm thinking I want to, hold on. I'm thinking I want to transition into lower level programming, maybe like embedded or robotics, or like GPU and performance. I'm not sure what kind of projects I should do though to put that on my resume. Go to GPT, ask it. It will give you the answers, I'm sure, a Grok. You know what I would do? That's cool. If you want to get into robotics and stuff, I would go to Grok, and then I would ask it about the Tesla bots. Musk is very big on that. Also, even that's the future. I think there's going to be a big boom in AI-powered devices, whether it be phones, watches, rings, the glasses, robots. That's a good field to get in, Khalil. Mr. Shu. Mr. Shu is shrewd. I think that's a good idea. Kind of projects. I would research it. Go to Grok, go to GPT, research it. See where that is, you know. See, one of the rules you should learn about business and jobs, you want to go into markets that are growing. You don't want to go into markets that are flat. So, like, I wouldn't get into, like, I love PHP Laravel, for example. I use it. We use it on Studioweb. I've been a big proponent of it for years. But right now, even though it's still viable, it'd be my first choice without any other, all things being equal. If I was developing a new MVP, I would do Laravel personally, depending on the circumstances. But if I was looking to get jobs, blah, 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 Laravel would not be my first choice now. It would be, as I said, foundations, agentic web agentic development. So yeah, think about the growing market. And the reason I say that about Laravel, because Laravel is still going to be used for many years, but I think it's going to be like kind of flat turns. Like people will be using it, but with agentic AI development and agent development, this is the use case. So you got all those extra jobs going up. You want to go with the growth. You want to go with the growth. All right. So yeah, if you like this type of stream, give me a thumb. Give me a thumb up. 100. We only have 50 likes. The likes to watching ratio is pretty pathetic. I'm just kidding. Do what you want. If you like my long hair, give me a thumbs up. Data science degrees do not have calculus, but they do have statistics. Yes, they do. I think you should come for a live. I think you should come for live regularly. I appreciate that, Decode. I used to do them all the time. I used them 5 days a week. I burnt myself out on the lives, I guess. I don't know. I got very busy with stuff. I like doing them. I like doing them. How are it's already an hour. All right, we're going to finish this off. U.S. government requires contractors have degrees. So if we create demand for college degrees, they're guaranteed the loans for. It's a big scam by governments and colleges. Could be. I don't know for sure, but I wouldn't be surprised. There's a little symbiotic behavior going on there. Personally, I'm not a big fan of degrees, generally speaking, except, you got to be, if there's requirements due to government regulation, then yeah, you got to do it. But for development, no, especially freelance. Hello, Tyler. How are you? So, yeah. So, all right. Welcome, everybody, to the show. Thanks for joining. I'm going to wrap it up because it's been over an hour. And I appreciate the likes, the shares, and everything. I appreciate the questions. I hope I was helpful to you guys. And, yeah, don't despair. AI development is here, and I think it's going to produce a lot of opportunities for you. So don't let it scare you off. Just jump into it. Hey, Stefan, have you had the opportunity to work with SAP ABAP? No, but one of my friends does a lot of big implementations there. Two of my friends, in fact. But I personally have not done it. If yes, how was that, and what do you know about this field nowadays? It's still big. It's still big. SAP is huge, so I wouldn't be too concerned. Thank you, Uncle Stef. Your experience helped us. I'm glad I could help everybody. Everything I talk about, by the way, is based on experience. If I don't know something, like what was it, garbage or something before somebody mentioned. Yeah, I'll tell you. But everything I talk about, I know it's proven. All right, I hope it's useful. Thanks for watching, guys. After the stream is ended, if you have any more comments under the video, let me know, and we'll let you go. All right, guys. See ya. Thank you, Tanya. Thanks for joining the stream. Appreciate it. And yeah, leave me 50 or more comments below under this video. I'll do another stream soon. Cheers. You know, actually, I'll go to my... this is a video I shot in Maine, which is a ocean community in Northeast U.S.